Now, we are here to take a perusal through the power rankings as the power rankings are set by the national media. But I have to open up with a bit of a throat clearing. Look, the national media would want nothing more than for someone besides the Kansas City Chiefs to be the number one ranked team in the NFL, the best team by looks through 1 week. Why would that be the case? Well, number one, simply this: if you write an article talking about how the sky is blue, no one clicks that. But if you write an article about how the sky is green, even morbid curiosity is going to drive some clicks. Everyone knows the sky is blue and the Chiefs are the best team in football. So if you write that article, there's no incentive for very many people to click that don't have a vested interest. Most people know, well, I'm a 49ers fan. They're not going to be ranked number one. They're going to be like 2 or 3. Who cares about this stupid article? But if you were to write an article that said the Bears were the best team in football, it might be the last click you get, but you would get that click. So through their own agency, through their own motives, drives, and desires, they do not want the Kansas City Chiefs to be the number one ranked team in the NFL. Also, there's the little matter of fact that the Kansas City Chiefs, well, they're the home team of flyover country. That's right. The national media does not respect Kansas City in general. That is what there's the quote-unquote small fan base. That's why so often the national media is slow to react to the Chiefs or the Royals, etc., Mizzou, etc., Keough, etc., for things. So we have to keep those things in mind as we read through these blurbs from different national publications. From CBS and Pete Briscoe, we get the following. We won't be worrying about their receivers this season. Xavier Worthy can fly, and Rashee Rice is taking his game up a notch. Patrick Mahomes will light it up again. There is a recurring theme through many of these. I have not read these. This is something of a reaction for me, but I read enough to get the gist of some of them as I was highlighting them to copy paste into this Microsoft Word document that is so high tech and before you right now. The theme of Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice is going to come up time and again, and rightfully so, based on that Week 1 performance. But, guys, Travis Kelce didn't even get involved. He will. Hollywood Brown was on the sideline. He won't be. Juju Smith-Schuster, I believe, dropped the only pass that went his way. That won't happen all the time. Justin Watson had a pretty good game for Justin Watson. Completely lost. Noah Gray, great game for Noah Gray. Completely lost in the shuffle. Sky Moore caught as many passes as me. Neither here nor there. I just wanted to throw it out there. NFL.com says, and Eric Edholm say, as the Kansas City Chiefs are ranked number one there as well, Xavier Worthy had a brilliant debut, bringing the big play back to Kansas City's offense, and Rashee Rice had one of his best games, as a pro. There's plenty of room for improvement, but the Chiefs should be getting Marquise Hollywood Brown back from a shoulder injury in the next few weeks, and the Ravens will be one of their tougher matchups all season. Kansas City's defense held Baltimore to 10 points through 3 quarters, but also benefited from a lot of self-inflicted errors. Still, the champs remain the champs, and you better believe they'll get up for the Bengals coming to town, even after Cincinnati's shocking loss to the Patriots at home. Here's something I can't stand. Oh, it's a terrible color. It's too bright. But also benefited from a lot of self-inflicted errors from the Ravens. How often do we have to hear this? How often do we have to hear this, especially as it pertains to the Baltimore Ravens? Every time it seems that the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Baltimore Ravens, and often when they beat any team in the NFL, part of the pervasive commentary coming out of that game is, well, the Ravens really lost it for themselves. It wasn't so much that the Chiefs won as the Ravens lost. How many times are we going to hear this stupid refrain? And I try to keep it mainly positive on the channel, unless I'm talking about Sky Moore. But look, how often do we have to hear this refrain that a team has beaten itself? It's not that the Chiefs won, it's that XYZ has lost. No. Because you don't give other teams that same leeway when Patrick Mahomes has one of his rare off games and the Kansas City Chiefs lose. You didn't do that last season as Kadarius Nine-Thumb Tony batted in the air 19 different passes directly to defensive backs that were returned for pick sixes. You didn't say the Chiefs beat themselves. You said the Lions beat the Kansas City Chiefs on opening night. That's what you said. Pro Football Focus has the Kansas City Chiefs ranked number 2. Isn't that interesting? Strength of schedule number 6, strength of schedule remaining 21, projected win total 11.4, percentage chance of making the playoffs 83.4, percentage chance of winning the division 65.4, percentage chance of winning the conference 22%, percentage chance of winning the Super Bowl 12.3%, but they're the number 2 team in football. Why the Chiefs won in week 1? The Chiefs leaned on their passing game, with Patrick Mahomes completing 20 of his 29 passing attempts for 291 yards and a touchdown, earning an 83.0 PFF grade. Mahomes and company generated 0.312 expected points added per passing play compared to the Ravens' negative 0.001. I don't have a whole lot to say there other than the fact that, look, not everybody's going to have the Chiefs ranked number 1. You're allowed to be wrong. ESPN has the Chiefs ranked number 1, preseason ranking number 1, best newcomer performance, wide receiver Xavier Worthy. They say this of their performance on Thursday night. Worthy had the impact the Chiefs were hoping for when they drafted him in the first round. He delivered 2 plays of more than 20 yards. The first one, a touchdown on an end around the first time he got the ball, the other a touchdown catch in the fourth quarter. The Chiefs had 3 pass plays of more than 30 yards and 3 others of more than 20. Worthy's mere presence on the field might have contributed even when it wasn't getting him the ball. This is clearly the truth. Xavier Worthy has already paid dividends to this Kansas City Chiefs. In addition to capital appreciation, the touchdowns that he himself scored, Xavier Worthy has been worth the underneath routes that Rashee Rice was cashing in all night long. USA Today and Nate Davis. Kansas City Chiefs number 1, if you think it's patently unfair that a 2-time defending champion led by 3-time Super Bowl MVP quarterback Patrick Mahomes would land wide receiver Xavier Worthy, he scored 2 touchdowns in his NFL debut in the first round of the draft, then blame the Bills. Buffalo traded Kansas City the round 1 selections used on both Mahomes in 2017 and Worthy. Here's something that's going to get very, very irritating as a Chiefs fan, and this is quite frankly why you should come to YouTube for your Chiefs fix, whether it's here, whether it's How About Those Chiefs, All Chiefed Up. There are myriad channels popping up on YouTube about the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody's getting lazy in the national media. I guarantee you this is not the first time Nate Davis has used this line about, the Bills traded Kansas City the draft picks for both Patrick Mahomes and Xavier Worthy. Yeah, of course. We've heard that 1,000 times. You're not telling anyone anything new. Come to YouTube for all of your Chiefs stuff because There is a great creator base on YouTube creating new stuff every day. So, and you're not going to get the same tired lines. I mean, everything here would be considered cliche if you were taking note. From Bleacher Report, last week number 1, week 1 result 1 versus Baltimore 27-20. It didn't stop them from winning a second straight Super Bowl last year, but the Kansas City Chiefs had a fairly glaring offensive deficiency. The team's lack of wide receiver talent outside Rashee Rice made it all but impossible to hurt opponents vertically. The Kansas City had one touchdown pass all season from outside the 30-yard line. The Chiefs matched that total Thursday night against the Baltimore Ravens. We knew that the arrival of veteran wide receiver Marquise Brown, who sat out Thursday's opener, and rookie wide receiver Xavier Worthy would inject some badly needed speed in Kansas City's passing game, and the latter wasted no time showing just how fast he really is. It was also Worthy that scored on that long pass. Although that had as much to do with Marlon Humphrey's blown coverage as Worthy's 4.21 second wheels, the Chiefs head coach Andy Reid told reporters it was still great to see Worthy make such an impact in his first NFL game. Xavier coming out as a rookie and having a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown, that was beautiful, Reid said. It might have been beautiful for the Chiefs, but the rest of the NFL should be terrified, in Davenport's opinion. Giving Patrick Mahomes this many options in the passing game is just unfair, he said. Defenses have to respect Rice and Worthy, which leaves light boxes for running back Isaiah Pacheco and the underneath wide open for that Kelsey guy. Don't forget Rashee Rice, who I hear is a pretty good tight end. Mind you, the Chiefs were rather sloppy Thursday, and Hollywood Brown didn't even play, and Kansas City dropped 27 on the NFL's number 1 scoring defense from last year. Couldn't have said it any better myself. From Fox Sports, number 1 rated Kansas City Chiefs. Winning is winning. It doesn't matter if it's by an inch or a mile. Dom Toretto's immortal words rang in my ears as I watched the defending champs hold off the Ravens by a literal toenail. Don't use literal. It's not an actual toenail. Dramatic as the opener might have been, the Chiefs' revamped offense looks just as explosive as we thought it might. That's a scary thought. This is another word that keeps coming up. Scary. Scary. Not impressive. Not really good. Not talented. Scary. Scary. The Kansas City Chiefs are scary. And from Sports Illustrated, the number 1 ranked Kansas City Chiefs, how terrifying for the Chiefs' opponents that Rashee Rice has matured on the field into an incredibly... Look at this little dig on the field. Not off the field, but on the field. Thank you, Sports Illustrated. Fake news. Into an incredibly dangerous and lengthy wide receiver who looks to be a yards after the catch monster. Xavier Worthy is terrifying on a whole different level, giving the Chiefs an all of a sudden set of legitimate stylistic complements who can mix speed and power. Travis Kelce, as he gets older, can evolve more comfortably into a role as a table setter for completions elsewhere. Every year, it seems Patrick Mahomes is having to break in part of a team, and certainly having one of his anchor tackles be a rookie second-round pick is a challenge. But this already looks like the most complete Chiefs team we've seen in a few years. This is what I want to talk about here. Every year, it seems Patrick Mahomes is having to break in part of the team. Part of the team is new. This is undoubtedly true. This is undoubtedly part of the plan. This is unfortunate, but a reality of the NFL. If you keep all of your constituent parts, You can't afford to pay any of them because you've already paid the last ones. So Brett Veach is walking a tightrope. It is a fine line between who do you keep, who do you lose, and Brett Veach has done this masterfully so far. This idea of having to break in part of the team is something that is going to stay true. You're going to continue to have to do this. Only if you're good, only if you mean to stay good, will you have to worry about it. But I think the Chiefs mean to stay good, so they're going to have to worry about it. It is likely that either Nick Bolton or Trey Smith, maybe both, have to leave this offseason. Difficult to afford both of them. It's going to be difficult to afford one of them. Meaning the Kansas City Chiefs will have a new middle linebacker and or right guard next season, breaking them in. It's possible Joe Thuney retires. I was thinking about this the other day. When was the last time a Kansas City Chief retired? When was the last time a Kansas City Chief retired while a member of the Kansas City Chiefs? I would have to think about it a little bit more deeply, but the answer is, I think, would be surprising. The year especially, I think, would be surprising. So, and I think it's also possible the Chiefs have to break in a new right tackle next year. But anywho, this is part of the system of being a great football team. Having to cycle through players, replace entire position groups, basically, and keep going. Brett Veach has figured out how to do that. That is all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, I drop daily Kansas City Chiefs news, analysis, and opinion, so consider hitting the subscribe button to stick around for more. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.